as it turned out, there was quite a lengthy operation on me and my co-defendants, Operation Sculpture, conducted by a National Crime Squad, and the upshot was my arrest alongside two co-defendants in a warehouse in West Byfleet, near Woking. In the build-up to that, one of my co-defendants, Ben, called me up and he asked me whether I would be able to do a trade with some people that were getting drugs from him via me. They wanted me to supply them with 200,000 E's in exchange for 1/4 of a ton of soap bar. And I did a quick mental arithmetic and I thought, yeah, we can do this. I'd had 2 brief meetings with these guys who turned out to be undercover National Crime Squad. After the first meeting, I immediately in the car back with Ben grilled him about how he knew these guys. He said, look, they're brand new, they're good as gold, they've been getting a lot of work from me for about 6 months now, they pay cash for everything. They had in fact bought things like 9 ounces of 5,000 pills. They'd even bought a couple of high value stolen cars, which we were also trading. So I kind of, that put me at ease to, relatively speaking. I was kind of unsure about them. There was something going on somewhere in the back of my head, but probably I let the financial aspect kind of smokescreen that to an extent. In the time before the actual trade was due to take place, they spoke to Ben again and they asked him to check out a driving license, a number plate for them. And we had a young lady who was a PNC civilian worker. She, in exchange for a little bit of this and a little bit of that, would check certain things, mostly for Ben, but obviously for me as well. And she ran the number plate, and Ben called me a couple of weeks later and said, we need to get this deal done. We really need to get this deal done now. They're all over me. And I said, well, calm down. What's the matter? And he said, well, I've just had a call from Steve, was the name of one of the undercovers. He said that, as it turned out, the number plate was registered to HMRC, Revenue and Customs. Now, they didn't say it outright to Ben, but they intimated to him that they'd had this person killed. And by the way, when we're doing this drug deal, so Ben, I wouldn't say he panicked, but he wanted to get things resolved. He felt like they were leaning on him and perhaps indicating to him that things may or may not go the same way. So I said to him, look, calm down. What we're going to do is we'll get this done, and then I'm going to give you a lump of money, and you're going to take your girlfriend and you're going to go travelling. And by the time you get back, these lot will have gone. They'll have just, disappeared. So that was the plan. And I got the 200,000 E's together, and we met them, and they took us in a convoy to their warehouse. I drove in. One of my drivers, he lost us in the convoy and was he just parked himself up at sort of a mile or so away. I was in the back of their van smashing bars of soap with a lighter, checking them for quality. And I just heard a very faint noise, someone shouting. At first I ignored it, then it got louder, and then there were multiple voices. I jumped out of the van, me and Ben ran to the back of the warehouse. It was kind of Keystone Cops. There was nowhere to go. And the upshot was that it was SO19, all balaclavaed up, bulletproof bullet vests and all the rest of it. And we were nicked. And I can remember people do ask me about this. I was handcuffed. Actually, where we'd been bouncing around, I ended up behind a pillar, a brick pillar, and they didn't have me. They had Ben in their sights, red dots all over him. They screamed at him to get on the floor. Then they realised by getting on the floor, he'd gone behind a car, so they couldn't see him. So they screamed at him to stand up again, and he was there. And all of a sudden, an SO19 came round the pillar, clocked me, swung round. I had the barrel of the gun inches from my nose, and to this day I'm kind of glad that he didn't have a hair trigger or was a bit nervous, because probably he would have blown my brains out. So we were nicked. My driver Danny, who was lost but down the road, the first thing he knew was that an unmarked car drove at speed towards him and T-barred his car. He thought we were being robbed. SO19 got out and put him on the floor with guns to his head, and that was it. I was then driven in convoy to Guildford Police Station. I had an armed either side of me helicopter, a car in front, a car behind. And I was taken into Guildford Police Station and put in front of the Assistant Chief Constable of Surrey Police, who informed me that he was the highest ranked officer available, and that had to be the case so that he could tell me that I was being held incommunicado. I wasn't allowed to call anybody. I wasn't allowed to ask for a solicitor. And so that was a day that completely changed my life. And
so not many people have been in this situation, and they're probably wondering, when that gun was put to your head, like, what happens? Does time slow? Does it go fast? What thought processes are involved?
I think probably the overriding thought was stay still, because it wasn't brightly lit in there, and I just thought any movement, anything could happen. I was wrapped up very quickly. They threw me on the floor, jumped on me, put me in handcuffs behind my back. But yeah, I do remember very clearly that when they finally stood me up and they marched me to another part of the warehouse, I had this amazing wave of tranquility come over me. I knew my life as I knew it was completely dead and buried, and I knew it instantly. And I just stood there in kind of somehow in kind of peace.
I kill you! A knife and a caution and all that, like, yeah! And he was looking at me, and we went white, and then he was gone, like.
What is it about a tough guy that fascinates us?
Imagine I'm hearing that, I'm thinking, I'm not going down today. If I go down today, I'm dead.
We're bringing you the very best of our interviews with Britain's hardest men.
They made the mistake of bringing billy clubs, iron bars and knives to a gunfight.
No Rules Fighter Bash, Stephen the Devil French, and my best friend, Wild Man. Over 2 hours of terrifying tales of punch-ups, stabbings.
That's what happens in that world. You leave people long enough, they get enough rope train themselves.
Attempted murders and exceptional all-round hardness. This film is available to rent or own on Amazon or Vimeo. Plus, the first 30 customers to order this film get a 30% discount on any Vimeo order. Click the link below to see if you're one of the lucky ones. This film will drop your jaw like a punch from the hard men we talk to. So why not order your copy today? If you're looking for a gift, my new book, Sit Downs with Gangsters, is available worldwide on Amazon. We've interviewed over 1,000 people now, and we selected 10 of the hardest hitting stories to go in this book. Each chapter features the story of one of our podcast guests. Those stories are Shane Taylor, Knife Maniac's Redemption; John Elite, Mafia Hitman for the Gambino crime family; Joey Barnett, 35 years in UK prison; Ian Blink MacDonald, £6 million bank robber; Chet Sandu, Asian smuggler in Spanish Supermax; John Lawson, the hit team commander; David Macmillan, international smuggler's Thai death row prison escape; John Abbott, San Quentin prison shootouts and escape; Michael Francis, Colombo crime family capo portrayed in Goodfellas; and Wildman, English enforcer in Arizona prison. Link in description box on YouTube, available worldwide on Amazon. Also, my next book, Untouchable Jimmy Savile, is getting published in December 2023. So check that out as well. It will be available worldwide on Amazon. Thank you for listening. Cheers.